I'd like to call to order the Monday, January 26, 2026 meeting of the Marquette City Commission at 6 p.m. here in the chambers. Please rise and do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, City Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Davis.
Present.
Commissioner Gottlieb.
Here.
Commissioner Hanley.
Here.
Commissioner Larson.
Here.
Commissioner Mayer.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ottaway.
Present.
And Mayor Schlegel.
Present. Thank you. Everybody's here this evening. It's great to have everybody together. Commissioners, we have an agenda in front of us. Is there a motion? Commissioner Davis.
I move we approve the agenda as presented.
In a second. Pro Tem.
Second.
Any discussion on the
No.
agenda?
No, thanks.
No? Anybody? Thank you. With that, we will vote. All in favor, please say yes.
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 Opposed? No. Motion passes 7-0. I don't have any announcements for this evening, so we'll just kind of move it on to public comments. This is our first round of public comment tonight. Public comments may not exceed 3 minutes per person. Please state your name and physical address when making the public comment. Is anyone here for public comment?
Excuse me, my phone is giving me messages, and it's like, shut up. I just want to sit in front of you. Margaret Brum, 404 East Magnetic Street, 3 items. There's been tragedy in Minnesota. There's been tragedy all over the United States. I'm doing what I do for my students every semester. Thursday, February 5th at noon, we will be meeting at the Superior Dome. Copies of the Constitution will be handed out, and my students will be walking around reading the Constitution out loud. I'm here to invite every member who is sitting up here, every city manager, attorney, police officer, clerk. I want you to be there. And I know you're busy. I know you're super busy. I know you're supercalifragilisticexpialidocious busy. But this is a reminder of how important that document is, because right now that's the only thing between us and a lot of other bad things happening. So please, 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 Thursday, February 5th at noon. There is no dress code per se. I have extra copies of the Constitution, and if you want to walk around together or sit in a corner and read it, that's fine, but it's a great opportunity for you to meet up with your fellow people. Second thing is, I made it of record. The banks on East Magnetic Street need to be cut back. It is a danger to both the people pulling out of their driveways and the people in the road. Plus, you cannot park a vehicle on either side of the road without blocking the rest of the road, so it's a danger to the vehicles. I've had conversations with the city manager. I've sent videos. I've danced in videos. I don't know what else to do. You're on record now. It's not possible to function normally on East Magnetic Street. And I appreciate that I'm in competition for a lot of other people for resources, but I have nothing else to do but beg, because the bank to the right side of my road is twice as high as I am. And the bank to my left side blocks the entire road. And as I said, one vehicle parked in the street, one SWIC truck. I'm not picking on SWIC, they just happened to be there last week. You cannot get a vehicle by, let alone an emergency vehicle. So I'm begging, and I'm begging on the record. And number 3, I would like a statement from the city as to when they intend to send a note to Gilbert's Dairy, thanking them for the milk giveaway that occurred in November and in December. As last counted, I've not received word that such a note has been sent, and that particular local business gave away 3,000 gallons of milk and 2,000 pounds of butter to everybody, including people on SNAP, but also not people on SNAP. For the record, there's 21,000 people in the city of Marquette, and statistics show that at least 10% of them were on SNAP. So 2,000 people in the city of Marquette depended upon the kindness of strangers, and Gilbert reached into their pocket and gave away fresh food. I would appreciate a thank you note to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Anyone else for public comment? Final offering for the first public comment. Public comment is closed. That moves us on to our consent agenda. Is there a motion? Mayor, or excuse me, almost. Commissioner Hanley.
I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you. Is there a second? Commissioner Larson, I am off tonight.
I'll second.
Thank you. This is a roll call vote. City Clerk?
Thank you, Mayor. Roll call vote for 1E, ordinance 26-1, and the off-leash area resolution at 1G. Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Gottlieb,
Yes.
Commissioner Hanley,
Yes.
Commissioner Larson,
Yes.
Commissioner Mayer,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ottaway,
Yes.
and Mayor Schlegel.
Yes. Motion passes 7-0. That brings us to new business. We have one item of business tonight. It's a resolution, and let the city clerk give background.
I have no background, but I have a resolution if you'd like me to read that. That would be great. Okay, you got it. Resolution of support for House Bills 4007 and 4283 of 2025. Whereas the City of Marquette, Michigan has responsibility for ensuring the health, safety, and welfare of residents and visitors, and whereas the Marquette Board of Light and Power was established by city charter and is responsible for the light and power operations of the city, and whereas approximately 17,000 homes and businesses within the City of Marquette and parts of 9 surrounding townships receive electrical power from the Marquette Board of Light and Power, and whereas House Bills 4007 and 4283 of 2025 aim to expand the definition of clean energy systems and promote alternative energy sources in Michigan, and whereas the bills seek to amend the Clean and Renewable Energy and Energy Waste Reduction Act, Public Act 295 of 2008, to include a broader range of clean energy technologies, and whereas, according to the Michigan Public Service Commission, the last coal plant in the Upper Peninsula was shuttered in 2019, contributing to a 71% reduction in carbon dioxide emissions in the UP electric sector from 2013 to 2022, and whereas the City of Marquette and Marquette County are home to two new high-efficient natural gas generating stations, the Marquette Energy Center and the F.D. Kuster Generating Station, that are critical to providing dependable power to our communities. And whereas the Marquette Energy Center, constructed by the Marquette Board of Light and Power, and the F.D. Kuster Generating Station, constructed by the Upper Michigan Energy Resources Corporation, have facilitated the transition from oversized coal-fired generating plants to efficient, clean, and right-sized natural gas generation, significantly contributing to the decarbonization of the Upper Peninsula. And whereas these investments were developed in coordination with Upper Peninsula stakeholders in the state of Michigan to address an energy crisis and ensure grid reliability, representing a forward-thinking approach to energy generation. And whereas House Bills 4007 and 4283 are essential to enable the continued operation of these reciprocating internal combustion engine units through their useful life, preserving reliable and affordable electric power in the Upper Peninsula. And whereas the RICE units were financed with significant outstanding debt, which will not be paid off until 2036, with a useful life through 2050, and whereas the failure to recognize these investments in Michigan's 2023 Clean Energy Law may result in duplicate energy payments, increasing costs for ratepayers. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Marquette City Commission strongly supports House Bills 4007 and 4283 of 2025 and urges swift passage through the Michigan Legislature. Signed, Mayor Paul Schlegel.
Commissioners, do we have a motion? Commissioner Gottlieb? Commissioner Davis?
I move that we adopt the resolution of support for House Bills, oh my goodness, my eyes, 4007 and 4283 of 2025.
Thank you. Is there a second? Commissioner Gottlieb? Discussion?
I really don't have any discussion. I think this is something that we've been concerned about for the last several years, and it is a good thing for our community and the expense that we could incur if these bills do not pass.
Commissioner Gottlieb?
I agree with what Commissioner Davis said. This has been on my mind since, well before I joined the City Commission, and while I wish there was an alternative to having what we have, we do not have the time frame to deal with it, and we need this as a interim way of proceeding into a clean energy society.
Thank you. Anybody else? Pro Tem?
Yeah, I would love to hear some comments from the city manager, if we could.
Yes, please.
Sure. This may sound familiar because we did talk about House Bill 4007 this time last year, perhaps. But this is also then pairing with House Bill 4283. And really, the focus of this and really how it impacts us is these bills would actually allow us to continue, allow BLP to continue to have those natural gas-fired RICE engines run. And those were constructed to replace the oversized, inefficient coal-fired power plants and to continue being able to use those through their useful life. There is debt outstanding for them through, I believe, 2036, and their useful life goes well into 2050. And so if the BLP had to decommission those early or even plan to replace those, that needs to start soon in order to, obviously construction season or construction and plans need to be evaluated, and there's some time for that, and there's really a short period of time for compliance here. But you would start having to spend the money now, and that would mean the people that would bear that burden would be our ratepayers and our taxpayers. And one important piece of information that I think needs to be mentioned here is this also includes the RICE units for through Umeric and that help with the mine, which is a huge part of our economy. It wasn't too long ago that there were 2 coal fire plants here, and there was a great transition for clean energy and took those down, but that also came at a cost, and we lost 15% of our taxable value when those were decommissioned and demolished, leaving a pretty big financial hole for the city that our taxpayers ended up having to really kind of bear the burden of that. So it feels almost like a double whammy here for something that is supposed to be very good and celebrating that clean energy step. So at least allowing us to reap those benefits and not have to have that double payment essentially through paying the debt, paying future expense, and also, I guess, triple debt or triple impact here of that decommissioning those plants, if that makes sense. But that is one side of the story that hasn't really been told very clearly, and I think is about time that we start saying that. But also with the City Commission considering this resolution, it does allow staff and commissioners to really talk about this a little bit more freely, and then also advocate for this when we go down to Lansing for our CapCon and for Marquette County ambassadors. I hope that helped.
That was huge. Thank you. Anything else?
Real quick, I'll just say that I certainly don't believe that this is perfectly written. I don't support every single word that is in this, but when it comes to our role as governing officials here, we have to do what's right for the taxpayers and the citizens of Marquette. And it's essential that we make sure that we're not having to cause people to pay a lot more money than what we originally thought we were going to have to. So I think the responsible thing to do here is to support this resolution in hopes of that alleviating that problem. Thank you.
Mr. Larson?
Yeah, kind of thinking about this, I think there's a couple sides to this that, that I've been thinking about, that, whether or not, this is necessary, these bills are actually necessary to, for the utilities to kind of move forward or not. There's critics argue that, these bills are, might undermine the intent of the clean energy laws that, are currently there. And is it really exempting, fossil fuel generation from, the clean energy standards that have, been put forward. So, like Commissioner Gottlieb, just trying to think of is this a practical tool, to use right now, or is this a carve out from clean energy, mandates that, currently exist in the state? Thinking about those things have been kind of weighing on me just a bit. But, again, like Mayor Pro Tem, I really do think that, I don't really agree with, some of the wording that's in the language talking about whether this is, clean energy. But, for the bill here, I think at this point in time, it's not really for me about redefining what clean energy is, but really about honoring those existing investments that have been made and, making sure that we maintain our reliability and making sure that we can protect our residents from additional costs. So while it may not be perfectly written, and I think there's some issues with it, as the governing governing body in the city, I think speaking together is certainly important. So, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Mayor?
Thank you, Your Honor. Yeah, thinking back to last year, as some of you might recall, I requested that we originally vote on this legislation. I know that they're still going through rounds of discussions on it, but realistically, looking at this isn't like an option in my eyes. We can simply not afford for this to not get fixed. The lack of energy in the local grid and how much it would cost ratepayers to make up for that by bringing in power from elsewhere, on top of still paying the debt for quite a while to come. I mean, I don't have the figures off the top of my head right now, but I mean, we're talking substantial increases to ratepayers on top of us still paying this debt till, was it 2036? So another decade of paying debt for something that we can't use anymore, on top of extremely high rate increases. It's one of those things, and I brought this up last year when we were discussing this, where the state is really loves to, especially with the UP, have unfunded mandates. So if the state really doesn't want us to have these, then they can come pay off the debt and provide us with the energy that we need to replace it, is where I'm at. Or they can fix this legislation for us. But thank you.
Anything else? Yeah, I'm gonna agree with a lot of what's been said up here tonight in regards to these two bills. It is imperative that this gets passed through so that we can maximize our investment in these RICE generators. What really drives me crazy about this is that the people below the bridge that are claiming to speak for all of Michigan don't give Marquette credit for what they did with the decommissioning of the two coal power plants. They don't give credit towards the mine looking at a better power source for their operations. This was way ahead of this legislation. So what we did is we made a major investment, knowing that renewables are going to be king of everything as time moves on. But we made this 50-year investment, which was very wise, so that we could get away from burning the fossils, right? So all of a sudden, they come and they pull the rug out from underneath us with these midnight bills that were passed a couple of years back, and we really didn't have much say in the matter. There was also some legislation that was going on before the winter break here that was pretty scary because, I'm not going to get into it, but the fact is that Marquette cannot be left behind here. Board of Light and Power is doing their job. We will roll with the punches and proceed again as the power sources and renewable resources get brought to us and better technology and for this region, things like that we need to really keep in mind. I think that we're doing a very good job by buying off the grid when we have to buy off the grid, and we're doing a very good job of utilizing our cleaner energy burners that we're using right now when we need to use those. So the point is, we've got to have support this for right now, and we got to also, like our city manager said, we do have to start planning for being, I would say 100% renewable, but the types of changes that we have to look forward to for at least my kids and those people to come, because I probably won't be around for it. But anyway, thank you. With that, we'll call vote for this. City manager? Sorry, city clerk?
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Gottlieb,
Yes.
Commissioner Hanley,
Yes.
Commissioner Larson,
Yes.
Commissioner Mayer,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ottaway,
Yes.
and Mayor Schlegel.
Yes. Motion passes 7-0. That brings us to public comment number 2. Again, public comment cannot exceed 3 minutes per person. Please state your name and address if you have not already done so, and when addressing the public. Yes, it does.
Margaret Brum, 404 East Magnetic Street. 2 weeks ago at the last city commission meeting, I raised the issue of some phrasing gut ugly rumors I had heard about the performance of the BLP during the winter storm of 2025. I asked people to investigate, figure out what had happened, and report back. Silence has been deafening. So I went out on my own and spoke to upwards of about 20, 25 people who were there and had their own perspective of the storm. City manager Kovacs was one of them. County emergency manager Brian Hummel, I believe his last name was another. County board members, members of the BLP, members of the public, circling back on several issues that had taken place, several meetings that had happened. And I am ready to deliver my summary of what I learned, which is in-depth, quite interesting, but also in-depth. There's one message that I would leave to all of these organizations. However, I'm halfway through my 3 minutes, and I know that you have a strict timeline. So it won't be tonight, and it won't be in front of this group. Tomorrow night is a Board of Light and Power meeting, 4:30 p.m. at the Board of Light and Power on Wright Street. I have 2 3-minute sessions, and I have bullet pointed it, so I will finish in under the full 6 minutes. I would encourage you, keep inviting you to things and you never come. And I'm just thinking, is it something I said? I could bring in snacks. I mean, seriously. Also, law enforcement, Marquette County Road Commission, Fire Department as well. I would encourage you all to send a representative. We don't film those meetings as much as we film these, and I don't plan on necessarily having a visual aid, but I do plan on reporting what I found out. And before you say, well, you're not on the board, how did you get people to talk to you? Real simple. I said, hi, I want to talk about the storm. If you don't want to talk about the storm, wave me off. I believe that's what I said to the city manager, and nobody waved me off. And again, if people want to talk, I'll listen. So I would encourage you all to come. There's some lessons to be learned. There's some things that it's just impossible to find out unless you sit down quietly when it's all done. But if you don't sit down and find them out, you're going to have the next storm come in, and you're going to not have institutional knowledge shared that could make a difference. So it's an invitation. It will not be, it's not gut ugly. And it's from me. It's not from the board. I'm not sanctioned. I wasn't hired as a consultant or anything like that. It's just from me. I'm just one person. And if you have questions, I'll be happy to stay after and answer them. Thank you for your time.
Anyone else for public comment? Anyone else for public comment? Okay, with that, public comment is closed. We will move to comments from the commission. We're going to start tonight with Commissioner Gottlieb.
Thank you, Mayor. And I'd like to thank you immediately, past Mayor Hamley, for naming me to the multi-use pathway e-bike task force. It was a learning experience and allowed me to work with a diverse and thoughtful bunch of people that I otherwise wouldn't have. It also made me and the rest of the task force something of experts on this subject. And as a guy with about 8 to 10 bikes of his own and more miles on that pathway than imaginable, I really took it to heart. I look forward to working with the city and the city commission as we move forward with the changes on the multi-use path. And I'm hoping we will hear from city administration in the near future on what our next steps might be in exploring what those changes might be and how we get there.
Thank you, Commissioner Hanley. All set. Pro Tem Ottaway.
Yeah, it's been a heck of a few weeks in this country, obviously. Everyone's seeing the news, reading the news, watching the news live in front of us. Talk to your neighbors. Get right in there. Ask them how they feel about things. Make sure that they're okay. We're all one community. It's very important that, we remain connected with each other, especially locally. And I think that that's not happening enough. I think that we need to continue making sure, each one of our community members is okay. One other thing I will say, and it's something I've thought, very heavily about recently. Margaret Brum, was kind enough to say it tonight with Mickey Brum. Forgot that's how she would rather be stated to us, but with the Constitution. Weeks ago, I brought a copy of my Constitution, and I leave it here, just in case we ever have to take a peek at that and reference it. I will say that, each commissioner that's sitting up here, as well as city staff, everyone else, we take an oath to the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Michigan, and the Charter of the City of Marquette. I don't think any one of us takes that lightly, and I will say that I will do everything in my power to defend what's written in those words. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Larson.
No further comment.
Commissioner Mayer.
No comment, Your Honor.
Commissioner Davis.
I have nothing this evening, thank you.
Okay. I don't have much, but as usual, I have to have something. So I've been really struggling with a couple things, and one of them is snow removal. I'm getting a lot of questions from our people. I'm watching these trucks and trucks and trucks of snow getting toted around the town the last few days as they're finally getting a break from the snow, and we're starting to be able to cut back curbs. We're doing our best. The guys are really giving her out there. So please know that the city is doing the best that they can with the resources that they have. We are, at least as of last week, I think we were almost 5 feet of snow, 5 feet of snow above our average for this time of year. So imagine having to, deal with what we're up against, 5 feet more of snow than what we're averaging. And we already average enough to make it, taxing. So have a little bit of grace when it comes to, the time that it's taking to get to these things, and we're doing our best. I'm sure of that, and I want to thank our public works people out there that are doing that. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to this, the energy bills that we voted on tonight, and I guess I'll leave it at that. But I really hope that that we can look at what we're doing, be proud of what we've done, and know that we're going to make the right decisions moving forward with people that are going to help us guide our community in the best way possible. So, with that, I'll pass it on to the city manager.
Certainly. I do just want to give a huge thank you to Gilbert's Dairy and to Mickey for donating more than what you said, I think 3,000 gallons of milk and 2,000 pounds of butter to people in our community. And it's really that kind of generosity that really makes a difference and goes very far in our community. It starts and sparks one thing, and you just start seeing the snowball effect in a good way. So it's that kind of heart, I think, for our community that really makes a difference. And it really helped families stretch their budgets. It put good food on the table that wasn't necessarily available due to some constraints at some of the food pantries. So that food and butter, or that milk and butter, was really the key there to give them real sustenance there and help take care of neighbors, because that's really what it's all about. And so I do believe that everybody up here is incredibly grateful, but I am very, very impressed and grateful for the kindness and that spirit that you bring to the community, Mickey. So thank you. Might not be the proclamation, but it is really certainly from the heart, and I cannot say thank you enough. And it's a beautiful story. If you haven't heard it, please go ahead and look it up. Mickey does a great job explaining of why she did it and what she felt from that. So to switch gears here to touch on snow removal, something else that Mickey had brought up as well. Crews are making their way through the various areas to cut back banks. It's not every single area in the city that they can get to all of the banks, but there are some key critical areas, especially high traffic, high visibility issues. So they're working through that while the snow has paused. The cold is not always the nicest on equipment. So as long as things are up and running, we're we're working on it. So, and also a reminder that salt does not work when it is this cold, which is a good thing. We don't use just straight salt. So we are out there sanding quite a bit. So stop sooner in those intersections, or else you're going to see me in the middle of it. So please take extra caution and be extra careful on that. And I thought there was one other thing to mention, but nobody had any other direction, so we're good as gold. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we are adjourned at 6:30.